A reactive dog improves by using a long line and her nose. The dog taught me less control can equal better results. Today's video will show me working with a dog who was quite reactive on leash. She's a German Shepherd, I know, shocker. But what I use to help the dog is a long line. So this video is going to show how to reduce some reactivity, but also let the dog have freedom and use its natural inclinations to avoid conflict by using a long line. And during this video, I'll also be describing the dog to the client and what I'm seeing in the dog's body language to indicate that she's not really aggressive towards dogs. So here's a long line, here's another one. They come in various thicknesses and lengths. This one's 33 feet, this one's probably about 12. For most people, I recommend 12 to 15 feet, unless your dog has a really good recall or you live in a very large area where you don't run a risk of getting your dog in trouble by having them on the long line. When you're using a long line, keep your dog out of other people's business. The first thing I do when I use a long line is to teach the dog to pay attention to me and to come back when it's called, or just to follow me if I turn the other way. Exercise I'm doing with Bella today. So I have her on like a 15-foot leash, and I'm kind of letting her explore, but I'm also instilling pack drive. So you can see that she's paying attention to me. If I back up, she's actually turning with me. Good girl, Bella. So part of the exercise of doing this walk too is just letting her explore her surroundings at a pace a dog would do. This can help lower some of this anxiety. I'm in charge because I can always say, hey, Bella, let's go. Good girl, Bella. And then we turn the other direction. But often I find dogs make better choices if they're given more leash like this. This isn't something you would do every day, maybe once a week, because it's nice and quiet back here. You can also practice recall like this. You use this line. Bella, come. Good girl, Bella. Good girl. Right, so it helps you in case she ever gets out or you need to call her to you. So when you guys get home, let me know and I can come over and do a quick lesson if you like on this. See, but she's probably never gotten to explore all this stuff. Also, that rear right leg is bothering her. You can see her limping on it in this video probably, so you might want to check with the vet on that. Hope you guys are having a good dog. You can just simply turn around and go, hey, come on, let's go. And the dog's gonna come with you. The other thing to remember when you're using a long line is that you can always hold it shorter than at the 12-foot mark. The other day I was at the Grand Canyon and this lady had her two dogs on 6-foot leashes, but she's holding the end of the leash and going, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry they're close to you. And I'm like, hello, grab it here. A dog has to be close to you then. So remember to exercise that with your long lines. When needed, you can always shorten them to be regular leashes. That's why I love them. You can let them out when it's safe. You can bring the dog back. So always with all my training videos, use common sense and err on the side of safety. But you'll see when she walks by a dog in the neighborhood, instead of going towards that dog and barking and lunging how she normally would, she goes and sniffs other things and actively wants to avoid that dog coming down the street. That tells me that this dog isn't dog aggressive, probably needs some more safety from the owners and more boundaries from the owners to say, hey, you know, don't bark at that dog, that's not cool, right? But instead, let's go sniff this bush, or let's go sniff this tree, or let's just move away so we can avoid conflict. One more video of Bella. There's some little dogs up there. And you can see if she was aggressive towards other dogs, her tail would be up. Her tail's down. She's interested. So I'm not gonna let her get too close because I don't know her well enough. But you know, she can hang out here, kind of observe. This girl, seeing her, she just turned away. Come on, Bella. Good girl. So sometimes letting the dogs do this can help with a little reactivity on the leash towards other dogs too. You have to let them know you are in charge though, and they have to know that you support them and will protect them. That is key. And you have to establish kind of a way to get them back to you. Like this. Let's go. Bella, let's go. A lot of times if we keep a dog on a very short leash right next to us, and I know sometimes this is unavoidable, right? So if you're in a really busy urban area or something, you may not be able to do this exercise in that area. So drive your dog to somewhere that you have more space. But if the dog's kept here, the dog can't practice avoiding conflict by moving away or going to sniff something, because it's always kept right here. And then what do I see a lot of people doing too with reactive dogs is they make that dog sit. And so now not only have you basically trapped the dog to this position so it can't run away, but you've also put it in a more submissive, vulnerable position by making it sit, which ultimately may increase reactivity. You'll watch the dog sitting there building and building, and then it goes bah, 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 bah. What I like to do is just move away, even if it's just a foot away, and go, hey, let's go over here and sniff this thing instead. And usually the dog's like, oh good, that makes me feel so much better. So you can see that happening in this video. Here's a dog coming over there. So she's on the long line, so I'm letting her make some choices about where she wants to go, and you can see she doesn't want to confront that dog. Right, she's actually trying to get away. She's avoiding here by sniffing. So here she is trying to get away. So this is the benefit of this exercise too, is it lets her exercise her normal fight, flight, avoidance instinct, because what she really wants to do is avoid and give that dog space and give herself space. And that's the little, I think he lives down the street from you, Sparky. So here's Bella here. She chose, come on Bella. So I'm going to encourage her to come back this way towards Sparky. All right, here she is looking at Sparky. Bella, let's go. This allows the dog to be a little bit more like it would naturally and not be forced into heeling. So that was pretty good, I thought. Girl. That was a prime example of how using a long line with a reactive dog can help. Now, she also needs to learn how to walk on a regular leash. So this is not the end goal, is walking on a 12 to 15 foot leash all the time. It's just an exercise to build some tools and to build some behaviors that can then be transferred to a shorter leash. Once you have connection with the dog, it's way easier to go, hey Bella, let's go over here. And the long line helps you build that. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope that gives some insight on how I work with reactive dogs, but also how you can use the dog's nose in a nose-centric fashion to avoid conflict.